Shalom to the sons and daughters of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Hate evil and love the good.
Holy lineage, stuck on this earthly pilgrimage, lost a will to live, the kingdom's at hand, place to bitch because of mental explosion, brain corrosion, collecting heads and Romans, awaken the
He's going to put prophecy in Ezra's mouth, and it said
the chosen, while the universe stands frozen, the prophecies start unfolding, exploding, while the whole world sleeps, the shepherds are lost, sheep creep deep to the golden gates. It's Esau, the Lord hates, from crime to thievery, to even murder and rape. We close the drapes, watch them like grapes, while these fakes that perpetrate, my people's there's no equal in this. We do the Deuteronomy 7 and 6. I know it's hard like bricks, but don't trip, we got the kingdom coming. No more slumming and bumming, the Lord's coming. Busting through, reach St. John, 4 and 22, and guess who? The Lord's got a sword for, settle the score. All you heathens hit the floor. See these 12 stars, defenders of the law. Tiger wasn't up to par for this. Scandalous, murderous, evangelists who's girded up, ready to die for the words of the script. We too wise to be dumb. The hell with ice, we want the kingdom. Let's get out these sons and tell them where we from. Israel, you heard this, tuck tail and bell. Your rhymes are frail. You stepped in the zone when we excel. We too wise to be dumb. The hell with ice, we want the kingdom. Let's get out these sons.
like you said, everybody got opinions, right? But not according to wisdom and understanding.
I pop my collar like small.
Yeah, you got two choices, man. Take the blue or the red pill. Take the blue pill, stay your ass in the world and keep on eating microwave dinners. You wanna take the red pill? You can come out and wine and dine with me. It's a mouth, man, let's do it. I got a Kevlar mind with Teflon rhymes, antidote to venomous minds that decline the truth. Trapped in a box, thoughts locked, programmed to be spooked. I'm on some lynch mob shit, buck the devil programmed to shoot. And got some steel at the tip of my boots just to regulate. We can get it all night or morning, just name the date. And don't hesitate, being a gangster ain't no good if your thoughts is featherweight. I don't care who got the best team, I'm here to drop the word and keep it moving like jet streams. The luster green got my niggas moving like dope fiends. You gotta see the picture, but it ain't made for flat screens. Lemur Park and Skid Row was where he's last seen. Survivalist with holy water filled in his canteen. The boogeyman's here to put an end to American dreams. I'm out of sight of extraterrestrial being. Everything the Most High does, I hold it sacred. No stopping the sons of Jacob, you still plugged in the matrix. Me, I took the red pill, shook the snakes and the demons. Keep it moving like a tracks on a treadmill. When I say I'm a Jew, I'm dead real. It's hard hats and flashlights on the hunt for Israel. We in the last days to see the killer be killed, but niggas is caught up with talking trucks and big wheels. Heavyweight Solomon jewels, I use knowledge to rule. Rejecting wisdom as the acts of a fool. Christ is king, born to rule, let's take him to school. Open up the sword, baby, let it do what it do. Simple as that, Van Helsing the rap. I swing lefty when I'm holding the bat, righty when I'm holding the cat, man. On the highway to heaven, dipping out in the fast lane. I let my hair grow, OD'd on Rogaine. Spit the hot shit, taking shots of propane. SOJ created our own lane. Pacing for a queen, got no time for a dumb dame. Nowadays to be heard, I gotta be rude and profane. Dumb down my knowledge, make me look like I'm some lame. It's a trip of niggas with chump change, be so vain. It's the principle of truth, I acquires his first name. Come on. Everything the Most High does, I hold it sacred. No stopping the sons of Jacob, you still plugged in the matrix. Me, I took the red pill, shook the snakes and the demons. Keep it moving like a tracks on a treadmill. When I say I'm a Jew, I'm dead real. It's hard hats and flashlights on the hunt for Israel. We in the last days to see the killer be killed, but niggas is caught up with talking trucks and big wheels. Yeah, okay, so understand what I'm putting out there. Red pillars only, okay? You wanna take the blue pill, microwave, popcorn your ass to death, go ahead. You know, I ain't got time for that, man. I'm too focused for that. The soldiers that I roll with is too focused for that. So if you wanna get down, get your mind right, come and holler at me, you know? Because when your Howard Shah comes back, it's a rap like a gypsy mummy. A lot of these heathens wanna trip and act a fool. I thug it out for the Lord, and I don't need no tattoos. We drop bombs with the Bible while you stand there baffled, looking like you seen a ghost. I'm with the Lord of hosts. Still keep a hood, crack the yak, and we can take a toast. Cheers.
Shalom to the sons. All right, mic check. I think we're good now.
It's not
Let me
picking
get-
up either.
Not picking up.
Yep, now it's in.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
Well, let me go to the sharing as well. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. There we go. There we go. All right. So we didn't have our mics on the proper way. I apologize. We apologize. But like I said, the title of it is what is your ethnicity as well as your nationality? As I was saying before the mic, we found out the mics wasn't on, is that, you know, there's a big difference. My brother Icor had pointed it out. You know, ethnicity is dealing with your bloodline, your DNA, and nationality really could deal with the place where you was actually born. You know, that's, some people these days consider that as nationality. But when you look up the definition of the two, they still correlate with one another. You know, it's still saying that it's a separation within the nations. Okay, separation within the nations. We had for years, you know, we always ask that one sentence is, you know, to our people is like, do you know your nationality, right? Or ethnicity. Now we're saying that because, like I said, it's a little bit more deep and a little bit more straightforward. So we used to ask that question a lot, and we found out, you know, on many occasions, even up until now, that people don't know. Not only that, but they don't understand the question, right? Because a lot of us, we're calling ourselves by the landmass that we was actually born in, which is normal because, you know, when you get through the blessings of the Most High and give his prophecies and give his understanding, then we came out of that ignorance as well. And we know who we are, and we know who our God is, and we know who our people are. All right. So I wanted to share because I want to show just two little quick shorts real quick. Just one quick short. Let me see. Okay, if I play this cue, then I have to do, oh, I know what I have to do. Let me go back. Apologies. Let's go back. Let's hit it here. And let's go here. Volume coming through as well. Can you hear that? Let's see. I want to make sure the sound, because I'm on YouTube right now. Okay. Am I? Okay. Go back.
Put it in there.
Here.
Either add another one if you want.
I thought we usually just press here.
No, that just sends way out.
Share.
Yeah, put it in here.
Yeah, YouTube.
Helps us to have a clearer perspective on the history and cultural difference between Israel.
Go back, huh? Okay, got it. All right. All right, it's a quick short. Let me see. Let me see if I got it now.
Israeli and Israelite, or Jew and Hebrew. These terms are often confused, but they have different meanings. Israeli refers to any person who is a citizen of the state of Israel, regardless of religion. Israelite is a historical term used to describe the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel in the Bible. Jew, on the other hand, refers to people who practice Judaism or belong to this ethno-religious group. Hebrew refers to the language and an ancestral ethnic group of the region, although today it is also used for the modern language of Israel. These terms, although related, do not always mean the same thing, and understanding the differences helps us to have a clearer perspective on the history and culture of this region. So, in summary, Israeli is a citizen of Israel, Israelite is a historical term, Jew is a religious group, and Hebrew refers to the language or an ancient group.
Here's my State of the Union.
Okay.
Do you know the difference between Israeli and Israelite, or Jew and Hebrew? These terms are often confused, but they have different meanings.
There we go.
Israeli refers to any person who is a citizen of.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So you want to go back here. All right. So, just wanted to share that because, like I said, I just kind of like the confusion that's out there with a lot of people that's dealing with this particular topic. Like you said, you had Jews, then you had Jewish, then you got Israelites, then you got Hebrews. So you got all of this out there, and each one of those names, people are taking it and they are actually running with it to develop their own, I guess, nationality. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to touch on it a little bit. I'm going to start with Eber, right? I'm going to start with Eber because as the scripture is going to tell us that's where Hebrew derived from. It derived after our forefather Eber. But before I do that, I also want to read a little something to you guys as well. This is like a little pamphlet that I got. And it actually is pretty good how it goes over the history and certain topics. But what it does too, it gives you questions after you read the paragraphs or read, through the information, which I like. So this particular one, I'm gonna let Thumb read it. And, it pretty much go into who's who, right? Biblically, not according to someone's religion, and not according to just because you live in the land that you are those people. So just go ahead. All
right.
Yeah, start from here.
Who's who? The correct meaning of names. Much confusion exists within Christian circles today due largely to a misunderstanding of the terms Hebrew, Israelite, Jew, and Gentile. In this lesson, we will examine the correct meanings of the names Hebrew, Israelite, and Jew as found in the scriptures. In the following lesson, we will study the term Gentile. We will closely analyze these names to clarify their meanings.
Right. So we're not going to deal with Gentiles right now, but like you said, we're going to just get some clarification on Jew, Hebrew, and Israelites. Okay, go ahead.
According to the Strong's Concordance, the word Hebrew, as found in the Old Testament, comes from the Hebrew word Eber, which refers to the Eberite or descendant of Eber. In chapter 10 of Genesis tells us that Eber was the descendant of Shem, who was one of Noah's sons. The word Hebrew, the Eberite, is a family name, the family or descendants of Eber.
Right, the family or descendant of Eber. So let's get that. Let's get that in Genesis chapter 11. The Genesis chapter 11. And here it is. Give me 1 second. Let me get on here. I got some new glasses, so I'm kind of getting used to them. Genesis chapter 11, and we're going to read verse 1.
Book of Genesis chapter 11 and verse 1.
Now, I'm going back to Genesis just to prove a point on how the Most High separated us as a people. When I say as a people, meaning that people in general, once Noah and his 3 sons start to repopulate the earth. Now, in this particular one, I'm going back to the Tower of Babel because after we came from Noah and Noah started to have his children, his children started to have their children, then the earth started to populate, but we still had one language, and that one language was Hebrew, right? The language that we spoke. Now, but as we're going to read here, that one language, we all came together, which it's going to explain itself. The scriptures is why the separation, how the separation came about with other nations. Go ahead.
Book of Genesis chapter 11 and verse 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found the plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go, to let us make brick and burn them thoroughly, that that they had brick for stone and slime they had for mortar.
Mhm.
And they said, "Go to, let us build, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach up into heaven,
Mhm.
and let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the whole face of the earth."
Right. So upon the whole face of the earth. So this is the idea that they had, right? So we're gonna continue to read. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, "Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language.
Mhm.
And this they began to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do."
See, which they have imagined to do, because once we get together, the Most High, as He did, send the angels down. The angels said, "This is not good." Okay, because they thinking that they can prosper by building a tower to reach the heavens. All right, go ahead. Where you at?
Verse 7.
Verse 7. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Go to, let us down, and there confounded their language, that they may not understand one another's speech.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth,
Mm-hmm.
and they left off to build the city.
Right, and they left out to build the city, meaning that once they have been scattered, then they start to speak. They start to leave themselves. Like, for instance, if you have 6 brothers, and you got let's do 2 and 2. These 2 brothers understand each other, but then the other 2 don't understand each other. Then the other 2 don't understand each other. Now you got different groups breaking off, and they literally wanted to come together with whoever can understand them, because the Most High said He confound the languages. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 9. Therefore is the name of it called Babel,
Uh-huh.
because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
Okay, upon the face of all the earth. All right, so now we go back to Genesis. Let me get Genesis chapter 10. I'm sorry, chapter 11. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 11. And where did we left off at?
Verse 9.
That was 9?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my bad. Yeah. I want to go back to Genesis chapter 10, and then I want to go back to this.
Okay.
Genesis chapter 10. And I want to go back here. Start here again.
Start with the same one or the next one?
Yeah, let's go to the next one.
The first place the word Hebrew is used in the Old Testament, King James Version, is in Genesis chapter 14 and verse 13.
Uh-huh.
This verse tells us that Abram, later called Abraham, was a Hebrew, meaning that he was of the family of Eber. Thus, any descendant of Abraham could accurately be called Hebrew. Were Isaac, Jacob, and Esau Hebrews?
Right. So that's a question. Let's pause right there. So we haven't got to that yet. So let's go back to Genesis chapter 10 and verse 21. So we can just pick up Eber doing this setup. Go ahead.
The book of Genesis chapter 10 and verse 21. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born.
So now here's Eber on the scene. So like he said, as Eber, as he explained here, was carrying the name of the Hebrews. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of where I want to go with this. Okay. Continue to read this one here.
Were Isaac, Jacob, and Esau Hebrews?
Right.
Yes, because all 3 were descendants of Abraham and thus belonged to the family of Eber.
Which belonged to the family of Eber. So I think I kind of got my scriptures kind of mixed up a little bit. So y'all kind of bear with me. I'm going to go back to Genesis and back to Genesis chapter 11. And we're going to pick it up at 7.
Book of Genesis chapter 11 and verse 7. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech.
I'm sorry. So let's go down, drop down to verse 23.
Verse 23.
Yeah.
And Serug lived after he begat Nahar 200 years and begat the sons and the daughters. And Nahar lived 29 years and begat Terah. And Nahar lived after he begat Terah 119 years, and he begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran.
Nahar and Haran. So there's Abram. Go ahead, one more.
Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahar, and Haran, and Haran begat Lot.
And Haran got Lot. So I wanted to bring Lot into this situation too, because Lot also is a Hebrew, because he came out of the family of Eber. All right. So as he was saying, and we're going to move on, he said, is Abraham, let me see, what did he say? When it says, it asks the question, there we go. He said, was Isaac, Jacob, and Esau Hebrews? So, and the answer is true. Yes, because we know Esau and Jacob came from where? Came from Isaac. So as we continue on to see like these families coming together, but we have to understand that even though Esau is a Hebrew, the covenant was given to who? The covenant was given to Jacob. And that's who the Most High is actually dealing with. He's dealing with whom he left his covenant with. And then from the covenant from Jacob, we know Jacob changed his name to Israel, and Israel passed on that covenant and that blessing down to what? His 12 sons. Okay. So now, as we're going to continue to read on this page here, we're going to start here. But I want to go back. Because I want to be clear that how Esau is a Hebrew, right? And you can actually say that Ishmael is a Hebrew as well, because Israel came from who? Abraham, right? Abraham's first son. But once again, we have to keep in mind it's the covenant. That's what it bears rule. That's where the line draws in the sand when you're dealing with Hebrews. Now we're about to get into just dealing with the Israelites. Now, once again, we know that Jacob wrestled with the angel, and the angel changed his name from Jacob to Israel. And then we know that Isaac had blessed Jacob, right? And he gave the blessings to Jacob, right? Esau was left out. And that's where the controversy of how the world look at things, because the world looking at those so-called Amalekites that's over in the land now as they're the Jews. Now, another thing what goes by, as you can see, he said, and he had daughters as well. See, and the Amalekites, which is the so-called white Jews, they like to go on the perhaps of the mother, okay, dealing with the mother's side of the family, or dealing with the mother's nationality, and that's how they consider themselves as Jews, right? But the Bible always referred to the male. Always referred to the male as having that seed, and always referred to that male as having his seed to be regenerated, and continue on with the covenant that the Most High left Jacob and the 12 tribes of Israel. So let's read that right there.
Strong's Concordance tells us that the word Israelite or Israel in the Old Testament comes from the Hebrew word Israel, which refers to the symbolic name of Jacob and also his posterity. Israel is a family name, the family or descendants of Jacob. The first time we find this word used in the Old Testament, the King James Version, is in Genesis chapter 32, verse 28. Okay. Which tells us that Jacob's name was changed to Israel.
Let's get that real quick. Let's get Genesis. Like I said, I'm not going to be long with it. I just want to hit and miss on a lot of them. So let's go to Genesis chapter 32 and verse 28.
Book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 28.
Let me get there 1 minute. I'm almost there. There we go.
Good. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob.
27.
Verse 27. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men.
And with men. So now here we are, as he was saying, it's in this article right here, how he was saying that Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Okay. Go back to the article.
The first time we find the word used in the Old Testament, in the King James Version, is in Genesis chapter 32 and verse 28, which tells us that Jacob's name was changed to Israel. The 12 sons of Jacob are the descendants, became known as the Israelites, and together they formed the nation of Israel.
Okay.
By definition, the term Israel and Israelite begin with Jacob and continue from that point. These terms did not exist prior to Jacob's name change. As a result, could Adam, Noah, Shem, Eber, Abraham, Isaac, or Esau have been Israelites?
Right. So now they throwing out another question, which those particular men that he referred to, he said, can they become Israelites? Right. Anybody know the answer? Is easy. If they following y'all, anybody follow around? Okay. Well, no, the answer is no, but they can't be. Why? Is because Jacob, right, had 12 sons. And like he said, they actually became the Israelites. Now, those that was before Jacob, they couldn't have been Israelites. Okay, read on.
Could Adam, Noah, Shem, Eber, Abraham, Isaac, and Esau have been Israelites? No, of course not. For none of them were Jacob's descendants. Yet this day, some people erroneously refer to these men as Israelites. On the other hand, Joseph, Moses, Joshua, David, Solomon, the Old Testament prophets, Jesus, and his apostles were all Israelites because they were descendants of Jacob. In fact, many multitudes of people today are Israelites due to their physical descent from the various tribes of the sons of Jacob, Israel.
Now, I like the way he said that, because now he named everybody after Jacob had his 12 sons, right? Because we know that Moses always identified himself as an Israelite. Who else he said? He said David, Solomon, because they knew what tribe they actually came from. They knew their father. So if it was Issachar, you know, he would have his children, and they will be the descendants of a tribe of Israel. You know, you got Dan, and so on and so forth. So as he pointed out about Adam, Noah, Shem, and all of them, right? They couldn't even be named as Hebrews, because remember, Eber carries that torch, you know, as that banner, as they say. So continue on. Let's see. Let's get right here.
Point of clarification. The terms Israel and Israelite can also, in a narrower sense, refer to the northern 10-tribe kingdom of Israel as opposed to the southern kingdom of Judah.
Right. So what he want to point out here is, in the scriptures, when you hear certain terms like Israel and Judah, you know, that's where the split came in between the 12 tribes, meaning the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Go ahead.
The nation of Israel was split into two separate kingdoms under Rehoboam and Jeroboam. Therefore, care must be taken to determine the intended meaning of these terms according to the overall context within which they are used. Israel can refer to all 12 tribes or just to the northern 10 tribes, depending on the context.
Okay. So from there, let's get Jonah. I want to point out Jonah real quick. Book of Jonah, chapter 1. Chapter 1. And we're going to read 7, 8, 9.
Jonah. Book of Jonah, chapter 1.
Start at 7.
Verse 7. And they said, every one to his fellow, come and let us cast lots, that we may know for whose cause this evil is upon us.
Right. So now here's Jonah, right? We're going to cut to the point. Here's Jonah. The reason I wanted to bring this out, because Jonah is going to announce who he is and what his ethnicity is, right? So they trying to figure out, because Jonah was running from the Most High. So he decided to take this boat, this fishing boat, and the Most High had the ocean to start to terminate and start to, you know, get rough, have rough seas. And the men on the boat was trying to figure out, like, you know, what is evil come upon us, right? And Jonah, when you start reading it, he was down in the corner of the boat, and he was asleep while all this was going on. So go ahead.
So they cast lots, and the lot fell upon Jonah. And they said unto him, tell us, we pray thee, for whose cause this evil is upon us? What is thine occupation? And whence comest thou? What is thy country? And of what people art thou?
See, everybody knew. See, that's one thing about during the time of Jonah, and just during the time of the biblical scriptures anyway. that a lot of us knew our nationality, we knew our ethnicity, we knew who we were, we knew our forefathers, you know, we knew, and we knew the other nations as well. That's why he said, they was asking him, said, what is your occupation? You know, what country you came from, and who are your people? See, they knew all of that, right? Go ahead.
Verse 9. And he said unto them, I am an Hebrew, and I fear the Lord, the God of heaven, which hath made the sea and the dry land.
And the dry land. So he announced it. He said, I am a Hebrew, right? So then they knew, based upon, you know, the historical events that happened with Israel and how the Most High was dealing with Israel, the people knew God's people, period. Now today, you know, you can't even say that, because the video I showed earlier, they had all names. They had different names. The Hebrew, they had Jews, they had Israelites, you know, they had all of this conjunction, right? Which is confusion, which we have. That's why the Most High said, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a covenant, right? And when I make this covenant, it's an everlasting covenant, and it's a covenant that cannot be broken. So even when we find ourselves today not knowing who we are or our people, meaning Israelites, right? At least we know that once we stumble on who we are, we know that there's a covenant that the Heavenly Father promised to us. And then from that promise, he gave us also the laws and the commandments. So he's always built Israel and always kept Israel underneath his wing. You know, it's just us, we have to find out ourselves. And that's what brothers been doing over the years. And, you know, along with now social media, the internet, you know, a lot of sisters and brothers are actually waking up to their identity, but they have to start off with a foundation first, you know, and then from that foundation, then they have to separate all of the other mumbo jumbo that's out there, like Jew, right? They call themselves, well, you look at the people that's there, they say they Jews. Well, Jew actually derived from the tribe of Judah, right? So how can they call themselves Jews? Did they derive from the tribe of Judah? We asked them questions over the years, and they actually said, well, no. And then we also asked them, well, where's the other 10 tribes at? They can't answer that as well. So that's what the confusion is out there. They're just going on, like I said, based upon them living in the land, but they are not the chosen people. They are not the chosen people, okay? We're going to continue to read, because he's calling, Jonah is actually naming himself. So he said, I'm a Jew. I'm a Hebrew. Go ahead. Verse 10.
Verse 10. Then were the men exceedingly afraid and said unto him, Why hast thou done this? For the men knew that he had fled from the presence of the Lord, because he had told them.
See, the men knew. They knew it. So once you say Hebrew, they all them Hebrews. Oh, okay. We know that the Lord is dealing with you. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Then said they unto him, What shall we do unto thee, that the sea may calm unto us? For the sea wrought and was tempestuous, whatever. And he said unto them, Take me up and cast me forth into the sea, so shall the sea be calm unto you.
Right. So now here's the situation where they're gonna throw Jonah overboard. But let's real quick. I want to read. I want to go to the NLT real quick, and I want to read number. Let's go to NLT, and I want to read where he called himself the Hebrew and see what they say. Was that 9? Okay. Go ahead, read that. No, right here. 8.
Verse 8.
Yeah, verse 8.
In the NLT version of the Bible, the book of Jonah, chapter 1 and verse 8. Why has this awful storm come down on us? They demanded, Who are you? And what is your line of work? What country are you from? What is your nationality?
What is your nationality? Okay, read on.
Jonah answered, I am Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the land.
Right. So I kind of like, I started doing what Rasha did and trying to pick up his, because he would go to different books just to get a little clarification. And as he said, they asked him, what is his nationality? Right. Here they asked him, what country he's from. So it's a little word that's going, different words that mean different meanings, but they still grouping them in the same area, to the point where they're asking him, like, what is your nationality? What is your ethnicity? Okay. And then he actually told him, he said, I'm a Hebrew. Okay. So let's go to the book of Philippians. Book of Philippians in the New Testament. Philippians chapter 3 and verse 5.
Book of Philippians, chapter 3 and verse 5.
So a question is being asked to Paul, right? And Paul is breaking it down. He's telling the people who he is and how he recognized himself and how he recognizes nationality. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, and Hebrew of the Hebrews, as touching the law, a Pharisee.
A Pharisee. So now he's breaking down and he's telling you, not only say he is Israelite, but he's telling you also how he is a Hebrew. He said Hebrew of the Hebrews, because we got to realize too that a lot of the Pharisees and Sadducees, you know, they wasn't Israelites, put it that way. You know, they were Hebrews because they claimed to be, but a lot of them didn't claim their tribe, certain tribe that they came from. Just like now, you know, just like now, like I said earlier, when you're dealing with the so-called Jewish people today, if you ask them what tribe they come from, they can't answer that. But here, Paul is actually answering. He's saying that, yeah, I'm a Hebrew of the Hebrews. Not only that, but I come out of the tribe of Benjamin, right? And that's how he actually saying, I came from the tribe of Benjamin. Then he goes on and say, yes, I am an Israelite who the covenant stands with. Okay, read on.
Verse 6. Concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless.
Blameless. Okay, so now we know how Paul rolled. Right after the Most High touched him and blessed him, then he started to do it. He started to recognize our Lord and Savior and his mission that the Heavenly Father put him on. Like I said, I'm not going to go into the Gentile aspect of things, but I wanted to bring that out just to show how Paul knew he knew that he was an Israelite. He knew that he was a Hebrew. And not only that, but he also knew his people. And he knew where he was going to find his people once his mission, the Most High set him on his mission. Okay. Let's get the book of Romans real quick. Romans chapter 9. Romans chapter 9 and start at verse 3.
Verse 3. Book of Romans chapter 9 and verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
Okay, one more time now. He's actually saying according to the flesh. Go ahead.
Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants.
And the covenant. Go ahead.
And the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises.
Go ahead.
Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came.
Right.
Who is over all, God bless forever. Amen.
Amen. See, now that's what I say. Now he knew, and then once again, he broke it down to him. Now he's breaking it down to the Romans, right? Then he's also telling them exactly how he recognized his ethnicity. Not only that, but he recognized what else? He recognized the covenant that the Most High left for us. So he just wasn't randomly going to these cities and going to these countries, just speaking to anybody and everybody, like the world says, and how Christianity says. He's actually knowing where our people was at and where our people was actually scattered. And then from there, he made an announcement like, look, I know my pedigree. You know, I know where I came from. I know who I'm looking for, and I know who's going to accept this covenant and this word that the Most High has placed upon him to go to enlighten them. Okay, just like now, just how brothers are enlightened brothers and sisters now, giving them the understanding of their nationality. You know, but there's one thing we can say, like I said, when you're dealing with Hebrews, you know, that category, a lot of the descendants from Jacob, as well as Abraham, can fall under the banner of Hebrews, but they cannot fall under the banner of an Israelite, if that makes sense. And it should be a little clearer, because once again, Jacob's name was changed, and then from there, the covenant was passed down to his 12 sons. All right. Um, stay in Romans to get Romans chapter 11. Stay in Romans. Let's get 11 and what I got down here. 11, 1 and 5.
1 through 5.
Yep.
Book of Romans, chapter 11, and verse 1. I say then, hath God cast away his people?
Mm-hmm.
God forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Once again, he's putting it out there. Go ahead.
God hath not cast away his people, which he foreknew.
Mm-hmm.
Wot ye not what the scripture saith of Elias, how he maketh intercession to God against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life.
Right. So now here's Paul. Once again, Paul is just putting it down. He's laying it down. Now, that's one thing that we can do now. Now that we have the understanding of our forefathers, now that we have the understanding of our ethnicity and our nationality, so now we can actually say, yes, we are part of that covenant that the Most High made with the children of Israel. Now, right now in Christianity today, everybody trying to find out where's the Israelites. Years back, before Israel started to really, the Most High started to really bless this word and start waking our people up. They would always say the ancient Israelites are lost. They lost. We don't know where they at, right? But now that the Spirit is on us now, and that we're awakening, now we're standing up and calling ourselves Israelites. The thing is they don't like it now. Anytime that this Negro here that's in America and abroad, anytime that we try to claim rightfully and spiritually, our heritage, they always have a problem with it. We always get kickbacks. They always saying, well, no, you're not, prove it. Well, historically, archaeologically, it's been proven. All of the information now that's out now that we've been saying for years. Now AI has been took over. Now AI is actually putting videos and history together and images as well. Because now they're actually showing the Israelites as dark-skinned people. So all that information is coming out now. So the confusion is there's clarity within the confusion that's out there, And what we have to do is continue on to push forward and continue on to claim our heritage, period. Because the Most High is going to redeem us, soon, period. All right. Continue to read.
Verse 4.
We're going to read down to 5.
Verse 4. But what said the answer of God unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Even so, then at this present time, also there is a remnant according to the election of grace.
That's right. So, and all of them are Israelites. They are not from other nations that the Most High said that he preserved, right? Those are not from other nations. Those are his soldiers from each tribe that he have set aside to bring forth this prophecy. Okay. One more, 2 Corinthians. Book of 2 Corinthians, and we're going to start 2 Corinthians 11. And 22.
We'll start at 21 or
21 too. That's good.
Book of 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 21. I speak as concerning reproach, as though we had been weak. Howbeit, whereinsoever any is bold, I speak foolishly. I am bold also. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I.
So now he laid it out, right? Paul is always announcing, right? Now he's in Corinth, and he's also telling his people, because we can correlate what, once we have that message, the Most High is sending to his people, like I said, spiritually, we can connect to what he's actually saying, because they knew of their background. They knew their forefathers. Now, us today, we had to learn, right, and come out of the wickedness of Christianity and of our oppressor, in order for us to grasp this. But now that we got it, there's no letting go. There's no letting go. And Paul, right here, he was saying it, from a Hebrew, so am I, And once again, they don't like us claiming our nationality, but we are going to claim our nationality. That's what we go, ethnicity. There we go. If you want to say ethnicity. So, so really, like I said, I just had this real short, wanted to go a little bit more into the Israelites, because on my little paper here, it goes from Hebrews to Israelites, and then it goes and start breaking down the covenant, right? How the covenant was given to Israel. But we did lessons on that as well. So, it's going to be short today, Israel. And like I said, just go back over Eber, start from Eber and just build yourself up. And then as you go from Jacob have his 12 sons, which is the 12 tribes of Israel, and then start locking it into that covenant. And then you will find out that no other nations have no privilege or have no honor, in our redemption, in our recovery as well. Okay. So I'm just going to leave you with that, Israel. I say shalom, and continue to have a blessed Sabbath. Let's get back here and close it out.